So we have international speakers here at Roundtable. So I'd like first to introduce Ambassador Wim Geerts. You know, you are the ambassador from the Netherlands. We know that Netherlands is a big country for trade, one of the pioneers in trade. So maybe you can share your view. Maybe we just maybe have 5 minutes of each, and so that'd be great. Thank you.
Thank you very much, President Wang. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, first of all, thanks to CCG for inviting me to this very interesting roundtable discussion. And my compliments also to Ms. Liu and Mr. Zhou for what you've said. I found it encouraging to hear the steps that you've described towards a further opening up, which is very important. And I think that the importance of these kind of discussions and exchange of ideas in times of challenging circumstances, such as the pandemic and continued trade tensions, cannot be underestimated. Let me start with a couple of comments on the ministerial conference of the WTO that President Wang just mentioned, which will take place later this year. At CCG's excellent China and Globalization Forum a little over a month ago, I mentioned that the Netherlands remains fully committed to a rules-based multilateral trading system. And this system, as we know, is under pressure. The enforceability of its rules is hampered, and some argue that it doesn't lead to equitable outcomes. And I believe that we need to defend it to ensure that conflicts can be solved in a fair and transparent manner within the framework of the WTO. And that requires a genuine effort from all trading blocs to ensure that the predictability for businesses is increased. We have to ensure that the system functions properly and that countries don't feel compelled to resort to protectionist measures because they would feel that they're losing out from the current order. And the Netherlands and the EU are very much looking forward to working with China on achieving progress in this field. I am, however, not an unquestioning defender of the WTO. Besides defending it, we also need to improve and modernize the multilateral system. If anything, I think the pandemic has shown the value, the increased importance of and dependence on trade and services, notably digital services. China's thriving e-commerce sector is a clear example of that. And where would we have been, during the pandemic without this e-commerce sector to deliver our food and other retail needs? In spite of this, there are currently no specific international rules for trade in the digital economy. There is no international agreement to ensure we have transparent, predictable and qualitative procedures. And that results in varying qualification requirements, technical standards and licensing. For now, the digital economy operates in a kind of a multilateral vacuum. Because this international agreement is not there yet, we are developing our own parallel sets of rules, and that creates unwanted trade barriers and limits the still huge untapped potential of this sector. It's important for WTO to remain on top of things. As the leading organization on global trade, it cannot miss out on these developments. Addressing this is crucial in order to safeguard a level playing field for all, which is beneficial for both our successful service sectors. I started by stressing the importance of international discussion and exchange. Also in our economic thinking, we truly believe in and rely on openness, notably of the European market. And we look forward to also seeing that being increasingly reciprocated by China. Establishing free trade zones, such as here in the Beijing municipal area, is absolutely a positive example of such steps. And I'm proud to say that the Netherlands is an excellent gateway to Europe for the services sector, for example, for the financial sector. The Netherlands is a hotspot for finance and fintech in Europe. We, the Dutch, rank second best as the biggest fintech nation of the EU, after Germany. Over the past years, China has made considerable steps to open up its financial sector. And having said that, foreign companies still experience barriers to entry, especially in obtaining licenses and in terms of cross-border capital flows. Addressing these concerns will be important to the success of economic zones such as Beijing's 2 zones. My final point is that trade in services is also dependent on interpersonal contact. for which, of course, international travel is indispensable. We see this in the data. The preliminary figures for 2020 trade in services show a sharp decline, as opposed to the trade in goods. Thus, as it becomes feasible, hopefully, from a public health perspective, we look forward to the gradual relaxation of travel restrictions, which will undoubtedly be an important driver of further growth of trade in services. Once again, thank you very much for the opportunity to speak here this morning, and I look forward to even closer cooperation on trade in services with China, including with the Beijing municipal government. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Excellency, Ambassador Geerts, and you have made some very good comments. I think that talk about how Dutch is really pioneering on the fintech, and that's where Minister Zhou just mentioned. So I think there's enormous opportunities there, and I agree with you that on the multilateral front, we need a really international new rules making for digital economy, and I hope that WTO minister meeting and digital discussion will have some positive outcomes. So thank you again for your great comments.